Welcome back to the deep dive. You know, Google I/O used to feel like this one big uh, annual thing, a big reveal.
Right, wait for the keynote.
Exactly.
Right.
But lately, it feels like they're just constantly shipping stuff, nonstop innovation.
Really does. We're definitely in what they call the Gemini era. And the pace is something else. These AI models are just evolving so quickly.
It feels like a whole new strategy, much more agile, maybe more aggressive.
I think so. They seem very confident in the tech and they're pushing it out fast, getting it into everything.
Yeah, and that speed, that integration, that's really what brings us to today's deep dive. We've got the full Google I/O 2025 keynote transcript right here.
And we're putting it alongside Alphabet's Q1 2025 earnings report.
Right. So the mission today is to really unpack this for anyone looking at Google, from an investor perspective. What are the key signals? What actually matters?
By looking at the big tech announcements and the hard financial numbers together, we should get a pretty clear picture of their direction, their health, and maybe the investment potential.
Okay, so we've got the I/O details, we've got the Q1 scorecard. Let's jump in. Where should we start? Maybe the AI models themselves, the core tech.
Sounds good. And Sundar Pichai kicked things off, really emphasizing the progress there. He mentioned something like a 300-point-plus jump in the ELO score since the first Gemini Pro came out.
Wow, 300 points.
Yeah,
That sounds like a lot in ELO terms. It's a measure of skill, right?
exactly. It's a standard way to compare AI models. So, yeah, a jump that big really signals a major leap in capability. It's not just incremental.
It's like hitting the accelerator.
Yeah.
And then there was Gemini 2.5 Pro sweeping the El Marino leaderboard, #1.
Number one across the board, yeah. And number one on WebDev Arena, too, beating the last version by like 140 ELO points. That's significant.
And developers seem to be noticing there was mention of coding platforms like Cursor.
Yeah, Pichai pointed that out, Gemini being the fastest growing model on Cursor this year. He said it's generating hundreds of thousands of lines of accepted code every minute.
Every minute. Okay, that's real adoption. That's not just hype.
No, it shows clear value for developers, which, is critical if you want that platform to grow long term.
Right. Then there was the slightly unexpected bit, Gemini playing Pokemon Blue.
Oh, yeah.
All 8 badges, Victory Road, the champion, the whole thing. They even called it API, Artificial Pokemon Intelligence.
It seems a bit whimsical, maybe,
Hmm.
but it's actually a pretty clever way to demonstrate the model's ability to, like, navigate complex systems and solve problems, even in a weird non-standard environment like a game.
So it's showing general problem-solving skills just with Pokemon.
Kind of, yeah. Makes the tech more relatable.
Okay, so smarter models.
Yeah.
But all this smarts needs power, right? Serious compute power.
Absolutely. And that led into the infrastructure talk. Their 7th-generation TTU, called Ironwood.
Ironwood, okay.
Yeah, promising a 10x performance jump. And get this, 42.5 exaflops of compute per pod. That's a massive number.
42.5 exaflops, and this is coming to Google Cloud customers.
That's the plan. And this custom hardware, the TPUs, that's a really key point for investors. It gives them a potential edge in performance and, crucially, cost efficiency for AI stuff.
And Pichai linked this directly to their performance on El Marina, didn't he? Leading on output tokens per second while prices are actually dropping.
Exactly. They're claiming leadership in price performance,
Yeah.
holding the top 3 spots while making it cheaper. That's a potent mix.
It really is. And looking at the Q1 earnings, you see Sundar Pichai mentioning their unique full-stack approach to AI as underpinning growth. It feels like this hardware advantage is right at the heart of that.
It absolutely is. They control the models, they control the chips, they can optimize the whole thing. That vertical integration could be a really strong competitive moat, potentially boosting margins too.
Okay, so the models are getting better, the hardware's there. What about actual usage? Are developers actually using this stuff at scale?
Well, the numbers they shared were pretty staggering. They went from processing, what was it, 9.7 trillion tokens monthly last year to 480 trillion monthly tokens this year.
Whoa, 480 trillion. That's roughly a 50x increase.
Yeah, around 50 times. That kind of exponential growth just shows the incredible scale AI is reaching across their products and APIs.
Hard to argue with 50x growth. And what about the developer tools specifically?
Also, huge growth. Over 7 million developers using the Gemini API now. That's 5 times more than last I/O.
5 times.
And Gemini usage on Vertex AI, their cloud platform, up more than 40 times.
Okay, so developers are definitely jumping in. That's a strong signal for the ecosystem's health, right? Creates that network effect.
Totally. A vibrant developer community building on your platform, that massively expands what your AI can do.
And what about regular consumers?
Big numbers there, too. The Gemini app apparently has over 400 million monthly active users.
400 million. Wow.
And they noted a 45% increase in usage among people using the newer 2.5 Pro model. So users seem to like the better
We're
capabilities.
seeing the value. And then the AI overviews in SearchStat, that one really stood out.
Over 1.5 billion monthly users interacting with AI overviews.
1.5 billion. That's just immense scale. Embedding AI right into core search like that.
And it directly impacts the bottom line, it seems. You look at the Q1 earnings.
Mm.
Double-digit growth in Google search and other revenue.
And they specifically called out AI overviews, didn't they? Saying engagement was boosted by features like that?
They did. It shows these AI features aren't just bells and whistles. They're actually driving engagement in their main moneymaker.
And that connects to the other growth area in Q1 too, right? Subscriptions, platforms, devices, driven by YouTube and Google One.
Exactly. They surpassed 270 million paid subscriptions across those services. It shows people are willing to pay, which bodes well as they roll out more premium AI features.
Okay, so strong model progress, massive adoption. Let's talk about some of the specific tech demos from I/O. What really caught your eye?
Well, Google Beam was interesting, that AI-first 3D video chat thing.
Right, turning 2D video into 3D in real time with HP.
Yeah, it feels a bit future-forward, but it hints at where communication could go, more immersive.
Feels very sci-fi. More immediately practical, though, was the real-time speech translation in Google Meet.
Oh, absolutely. Available now in English and Spanish for subscribers, with more languages coming. That's huge for global business, for personal connections.
Definitely breaks down barriers.
For sure. Makes Meet potentially even more essential.
And then there was Gemini Live, that evolution of Project Astra.
Right, the AI that can see and react to what's on your camera or screen.
The demos were quite funny, actually. Mistaking a garbage truck for a convertible.
Or a streetlight for a skinny building.
Yeah. But it got the point across, didn't it? The potential of a visual AI assistant understanding your environment in real time.
It really did.
Yeah.
And putting it on Android and iOS right away gives it massive reach.
Then Project Mariner, the agent stuff, that felt like a really big step.
The AI agents that can actually do things online for you, yeah, that's significant.
The multitasking, the teach and repeat idea.
It feels like moving towards AI that doesn't just answer questions, but actually accomplishes tasks.
And seeing it demoed for, like, searching for an apartment using Zillow in the Gemini app. That makes it feel much more real.
It really does. You can see the practical benefit, immediately saving time handling complex tasks.
And the personalized smart replies in Gmail, using your own context.
Yeah, the Utah road trip example, making the AI sound more like you.
That feels key, right? Making AI less robotic, more genuinely helpful because it knows a bit about you, with permission, of course.
Exactly. It tackles that authenticity problem. And for investors, all these things, Beam, Meet Translation, Live, Mariner, personalized replies, they point towards, well, potential new revenue streams, maybe higher engagement.
Stickier products.
Precisely. They highlight where Google's investing and where future growth might come from.
Okay, let's shift to the models themselves. Demis Hassabis came out, right? Introducing the Gemini 2.5 family.
He did. Position 2.5 Pro as the top-tier, most intelligent model, and 2.5 Flash as the fast, efficient one, the workhorse.
And Flash is already number 2 on the El Marino leaderboard, just behind Pro. That's impressive for the efficient model.
It really is. And getting Flash out, generally in early June, with Pro soon after, that's quick deployment.
It seems smart, offering that choice. Pro for complex stuff, Flash for speed and cost.
Addresses different needs, broadens the appeal, especially the demand for lower latency, cheaper AI.
Then Tulsi Doshi detailed more developer improvements.
Yeah, quite a few. Multi-speaker text-to-speech with something called native audio, better security, thought summaries.
Thought summaries, what's that?
Basically, the AI explains its reasoning, helps developers understand why it gave a certain answer, which is great for debugging and, responsible AI.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. And efficiency gains in Flash, plus those thinking budgets.
Right, letting developers control cost and latency. That was already in Flash, now coming to 2.5 Pro as well.
Yeah.
Big win for developers trying to manage spending.
They showed off some coding stuff too, right? The American Museum of Natural History example.
Oh yeah, and Google AI Studio. Generating 3D animations from just a sketch. And plugging in native audio. Really showed off the power, but also the kind of ease of use of the tools.
Makes complex stuff seem more accessible. And Jules, the coding agent.
The asynchronous agent, yeah. Now in public beta. Tackling bigger tasks like updating Node.js. That could seriously boost developer productivity.
Like having an AI pair programmer who can handle the grunt work.
Potentially, yeah. Speeds things up, automates routine tasks.
And Gemini Diffusion, the new text model.
Experimental, they said, but focus on faster, more accurate generation, especially for things like math and code. The speed demo was pretty eye-catching.
Seems like they're constantly pushing the model architectures forward.
Always iterating, looking for better performance, more efficiency,
Yeah.
and getting good at math and code is a big deal for expanding what these models can do,
It all seems geared towards making developers happy, building out that ecosystem.
which is absolutely vital. As we said, that developer base is the engine for innovation on their platform.
Okay, then Demis came back to talk about the really cutting-edge stuff. Frontier research.
Right. Deep Think mode for Gemini 2.5 Pro, pushing performance on super hard benchmarks like USAMO 2025, Live Code Bench.
Stuff that really tests the limits of current AI.
Exactly, exploring the absolute edge. And importantly, he stressed the safety evaluations they're doing alongside it, getting it to trusted testers first.
That responsible approach seems critical when you're dealing with this level of capability.
Absolutely essential.
He also talked about this vision of Gemini as a world model.
Yeah, an AI that can plan and imagine
Yeah.
by kind of simulating the world. He referenced AlphaGo, their StarCraft agents, and Genie 2 for generating 3D environments.
So moving towards AI that understands the world more deeply, more holistically.
That seems to be the goal. More general-purpose AI,
Yeah.
and then connecting that to Gemini Robotics, teaching robots useful tasks, bringing that intelligence into the physical world.
That feels like a huge leap.
It is, and it all feeds into their ultimate vision for the Gemini app.
Right, the personal, proactive, powerful AI assistant. Like a step towards AGI, artificial general intelligence.
That's how they framed it, laying out that long-term roadmap.
Yeah.
And integrating those Project Astra capabilities, the visual understanding, memory, into Gemini Live is a big part of making that vision real.
Making the assistant more aware, more helpful in the moment.
Exactly. More seamlessly integrated into your life.
Okay, let's talk search. Liz Reed took the stage for that, right? Reimagining search.
She did. Started by acknowledging how people are using search differently now, asking longer, harder questions.
Not just keywords anymore.
Right. So the vision is search evolving from just finding information to becoming more like intelligence, a conversational partner.
That's a big shift, and AI mode is central to that, powered by Gemini 2.5.
Yeah, AI mode is positioned as this transformed search experience. She mentioned a query fan-out technique.
Query fan-out.
Sounds like the AI breaks down your complex question into smaller parts, searches the web more deeply and broadly for each part, and then synthesizes a more comprehensive answer.
Ah, okay. So, deeper digging. And they're adding personalization in AI mode labs.
Yeah, suggestions based on your past searches, and eventually integrating personal context, starting with Gmail, again, with permission, making results more tailored.
More relevant to you. And deep search for even tougher questions, multiplying that fan-out.
Seems like another level of thoroughness for really complex topics.
Rajan Patel showed a cool demo too, didn't he? Analyzing sports data.
Yeah, the torpedo bats example, showing how AI mode could analyze data, create visualizations, essentially turning search into a kind of research assistant.
And they're bringing the agent capabilities in too. Project Mariner.
Right, using agents within AI mode to do tasks like finding event tickets. So search isn't just finding links, it's doing things.
That feels like a fundamental change in what search is.
It really does, moving beyond retrieval to action and insight.
And then search live, bringing the Project Astra visual stuff right into search.
Using your camera in AI mode for real-time help. The examples are great: fixing something at home, help with homework.
Like having an expert looking over your shoulder. That feels incredibly powerful.
Transformative, potentially, blurring that line between digital and physical information.
Then Vidya Srinivasan talked shopping in AI mode.
Yeah, using visual inspiration, understanding vague needs like clothes for active kids, and the new virtual try-on feature.
Virtual try-on. That could solve a huge headache for online clothes shopping.
Absolutely. Less guesswork, fewer returns, big potential impact for e-commerce. And she mentioned an agentic checkout feature too.
Right. Tracking prices, even automating purchases for you. Streamlining the whole process.
Making shopping much more efficient.
And underpinning all this, both AI overviews and the new AI mode, is a custom version of Gemini 2.5.
Bringing their best tech right into the core search experience, which, for investors, is all about increasing engagement, opening up new commerce avenues, and just cementing Google's lead in search.
Protecting and growing that core business through AI innovation. Makes sense.
Definitely. It's foundational.
Okay, switching gears slightly to the Gemini app itself. Josh Woodward presented that, positioning it as the main platform for this personal, proactive, powerful AI.
Yeah, really doubling down on the app as the central hub for interacting with their AI.
And emphasizing that personal context, again, personalized quizzes, custom explainer videos, tailoring the AI to you.
Making it feel like your assistant, not just an assistant.
He also highlighted what users are already doing with 2.5 Pro in the app. Some creative stuff.
Yeah, vibe coding, inventing games, building websites, even generating images and video with VO. It's becoming a real creative tool.
Empowering creation, not just consumption. And then they launched 5 big features for the app.
A pretty significant upgrade. Enhanced Gemini Live with the camera and screen sharing, plus connections coming to Calendar, Maps, Keep, Tasks.
Making it more integrated.
Exactly. Then Deep Research letting you upload files, soon connect to Drive and Gmail to guide research. And Canvas, this interactive space to co-create things like web pages, infographics, even custom podcasts from your research.
Wow, Canvas sounds interesting. Turning research into actual output.
Yeah, very collaborative. Then Gemini in Chrome, bringing the assistant to your desktop browser. Imagen 4 for better image generation, better text handling, and a super fast version too.
Imagen 4.
And finally, VO3, their new state-of-the-art video generation model.
VO3, what was special about that one?
Native audio generation. It doesn't just make silent video, it generates sound effects, background sounds, even dialogue that matches the visuals. The examples look pretty impressive.
Video and audio together, that's a big step.
Definitely. And alongside all these features, they announced the new subscription plans, Google AI Pro and Google AI Ultra.
Ah, the monetization piece. Pro available globally, Ultra starting in the US.
Right. Higher usage limits, exclusive features. Ultra gets things like the 2.5 Pro Deep Think mode, access to Flow with VO3, YouTube Premium included, more storage.
So a clear tiered offering for power users and maybe enterprise customers down the line.
Seems like it. Directly monetizing the most advanced capabilities. For investors, this evolution of the Gemini app into the central AI hub, driving these premium subscriptions, that's a really important trend to watch.
Could be a major recurring revenue driver and increase user stickiness.
Absolutely.
Okay, one more big hardware platform piece, Android XR. Shahram Azadi introduced that.
Yeah, Android for the Gemini era, specifically for headsets, glasses, that sort of thing. Big partnership emphasis with Samsung and Qualcomm.
Entering the XR space seriously then, leveraging Android.
Exactly. It positions them potentially strongly in spatial computing, using an ecosystem developers already know.
And Gemini is integrated right in. Mention Samsung's Project Muhan headset.
Yeah, AI assistants within these immersive XR environments. Seems like a natural fit.
And the glasses. Lightweight camera, mics, speakers, optional display. Aimed at hands-free AI access.
That seems to be the idea. Making AI seamlessly available as you move through the world. Like Google Glass, but hopefully, better received this time.
Yeah. The live demo with Nishtha backstage looked pretty slick, though. Object recognition, live translation, brave doing that live.
Always risky. But it showed the potential.
Yeah.
And partnering with Gentle Monster and Warby Parker.
Right, actual eyewear brands. That's crucial for making XR glasses look, well, normal, wearable.
Addresses the style and comfort factor head-on. Key for mainstream adoption.
So for investors, Android XR is about that long-term growth in new hardware, getting positioned early in spatial computing and the metaverse, whatever that ends up looking like.
And it's definitely a forward-looking bet on where computing might go next. Immersive, spatially aware.
Okay, we've covered a ton from I.O. Let's connect it back explicitly to the financials. Q1 2025 earnings. What were the headlines?
Pretty strong results, actually. Consolidated Alphabet revenues were up 12% year over year, hitting $90.2 billion.
$90.2 billion, and double-digit growth across the board. Search, YouTube ads, subscriptions, cloud.
Yeah, healthy growth pretty much everywhere. Google Cloud was particularly strong, up 28% to $12.3 billion.
28% for cloud is impressive, given the competition there. Shows momentum.
Definitely. Capturing that demand for cloud services, and especially AI infrastructure.
And profitability looked good, too.
Very good. Total operating income up 20%, operating margin expanded to 34%, net income jumped 46%, and EPS was up 49% to $2.81.
Those are solid numbers. Shows good cost management alongside the growth.
Right. And they boosted the dividend by 5%, authorized another $70 billion in share buybacks.
Signals of confidence, returning capital to shareholders.
Exactly. Sundar Pichai sounded pleased in the release, talking about strong Q1 results and healthy growth and momentum.
Right.
Oh, and there was that $8 billion unrealized gain mentioned in the notes.
Right, on an investment in a private company. a nice boost to other income.
Significant non-operational gain, yeah.
So when you put IO next to these Q1 numbers, it really feels like the AI announcements, the engagement drivers in search, the subscription potential in the Gemini app, the cloud growth, it's all designed to keep this momentum going, right? To fuel further growth across these segments.
I think that's exactly right. The I/O innovations are clearly aimed at enhancing the core products, attracting users, driving revenue, and building on this strong financial foundation we saw in Q1. It all feels very connected.
Finally, Sundar closed IO with a focus on societal impact, didn't he?
He did, emphasizing AI benefiting as many people as possible. He highlighted things like FireSat for wildfire detection, winged drone deliveries for disaster relief.
Real-world applications making a difference. And that personal story about his father and Waymo.
Yeah, quite touching. A reminder of how technology can genuinely move people and change lives. It connects back to Google's broader mission.
Which is important for some long-term investors, right? Seeing that purpose alongside the profits.
For many, yes. It speaks to the company's values and long-term vision.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, key takeaways for investors looking at Google now. It seems like major AI model advancements, really strong user adoption happening, clear focus on developers, some ambitious long-term bets like XR and that universal AI assistant.
And all backed by really solid Q1 financial performance, showing current strength and momentum. The combination of cutting-edge AI, massive scale, and strong financials was pretty compelling.
Definitely a lot to digest. So maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. As you see these incredible rapid AI advancements and Google making these big strategic plays, how do you think this will reshape not just Google, but entire industries? What does it mean for the investment landscape overall in the next few years? It goes way beyond just these specific products, doesn't it?
That's the multi-trillion-dollar question, isn't it? Definitely something to keep thinking about.
Absolutely. Well, that wraps up this deep dive. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll be back next time to explore more from the world of tech.